The stock market just hit a new all-time high, and honestly, it doesn't make sense at first glance. We are living in a time where the United States has over $36 trillion in national debt. There is ongoing conflict in the Middle East, oil prices have climbed above $100 per barrel, and inflation is starting to rise again. On top of that, banks are nervous, the Federal Reserve is under pressure, and almost every financial voice online is warning that a crash is coming. So the real question becomes, if everything looks this bad, why is the market still going up? The answer is not that the market is broken, and it is not simply that it is rigged. The truth is that there are powerful forces working behind the scenes, holding the system together. And today, I am going to walk you through the 4 invisible forces that are quietly supporting the market right now. Once you understand them, you will stop reacting emotionally to headlines and start seeing how the system actually works. Before we get into those forces, you need to understand one key idea. The market does not crash just because things look bad. It crashes when something breaks. And right now, despite all the noise, those critical pieces have not broken yet. Let's start with the first force, which is often called the Fed put. This is not an official rule or a guaranteed safety net, but rather a deeply held belief in the market. Investors believe that if things get bad enough, the Federal Reserve will step in to stabilize the system. They will cut interest rates, inject liquidity, and support financial markets in whatever way they can. This belief did not come out of nowhere. In 2008, the Fed stepped in to stabilize the banking system. In 2020, during the pandemic, they printed trillions of dollars, supported bond markets, and sent liquidity throughout the entire economy. Each time the market faced a serious threat, the response was clear. The system would be protected. Because of this, investors today do not panic the same way they used to. Instead of running away when prices drop, many of them buy, expecting that the Fed will step in before things get out of control. The reason the Fed behaves this way comes down to one number. US household wealth is estimated to be around $163 trillion, and a significant portion of that wealth is tied to the stock market. If the market drops sharply, people feel poorer, they spend less, and the economy slows down. That creates a negative cycle that the Fed wants to avoid at all costs. However, this force is not unlimited. It has a weakness, and that weakness is inflation. If inflation continues to rise, the Federal Reserve cannot aggressively cut rates or inject liquidity without making the problem worse. In that situation, they are forced to choose between stabilizing the economy and controlling inflation. And historically, controlling inflation comes first. The second force is something most people do not even realize exists, and it is the passive investing machine. Today, more than half of the money in equity markets is flowing through passive investments such as index funds, ETFs, and retirement accounts like 401ks. Every 2 weeks, millions of people receive a paycheck, and a portion of that paycheck is automatically invested into the market. There is no analysis, no timing, and no emotional decision-making involved. The money simply goes in over and over again, regardless of whether the market is going up or down. This creates a constant stream of buying pressure. Even during market drops, this flow continues. When headlines are negative and investors are nervous, the passive system does not stop. It keeps buying, which helps stabilize prices and often leads to faster recoveries. That is one of the main reasons why recent market corrections have been relatively short-lived. The system has a built-in mechanism that keeps feeding money into the market. But again, there is a weakness. This entire system depends on employment. As long as people have jobs, they continue contributing to their retirement accounts. However, if unemployment rises significantly, the flow of money slows down. Even worse, people may begin withdrawing money to cover living expenses. At that point, the system does not just slow down, it starts moving in reverse. The third force is the rise of algorithmic trading. the image most people have of the stock market is still based on humans making decisions, analyzing companies, and placing trades. But today, a large portion of market activity is driven by algorithms. These systems do not think like humans, they follow rules. When the market is trending upward, they buy. When the market is trending downward, they sell. They are not reacting to news or emotions, they are simply responding to price movement. At first, this can make market declines sharper because algorithms will sell as prices fall. But there is an important second step. Once the selling pressure is exhausted and the market stabilizes, those same algorithms begin buying again. And when one system starts buying, it often triggers others to do the same. This creates powerful rebounds. In fact, the speed of recent market recoveries is largely driven by these automated systems. Moves that would have taken months in the past can now happen in days. The fourth force is the options market, which operates in a way that most people never see. Market makers who facilitate options trading are constantly adjusting their positions to remain balanced. When the market moves sharply, their systems automatically buy or sell stocks to manage risk. The surprising part is what happens during a drop. When the market falls quickly, these systems are often forced to buy shares to maintain balance. This buying activity helps absorb selling pressure and reduces the severity of the decline. When you combine all four of these forces, the result is a system that is extremely resilient. Central bank support, passive investing flows, algorithmic trading, and options market dynamics all work together to prevent large, sustained crashes. That is why, even in the face of negative headlines, the market continues to move higher. It is not ignoring reality, it is being supported by structure. However, this does not mean the market is safe forever. There are real risks, and you need to understand them. One major risk comes from the bond market. If interest rates rise significantly, bonds begin to offer attractive returns with lower risk. At that point, investors may shift money out of stocks and into bonds, which puts pressure on equity markets. Another risk is inflation. If inflation remains high, the Federal Reserve loses flexibility. They cannot easily step in to support the market without making inflation worse, which removes one of the key stabilizing forces. There is also the concentration risk in the largest companies. A small group of major technology firms now represents a large portion of the overall market. If those companies fail to meet expectations, especially in areas like artificial intelligence, the impact could be significant. And finally, there is always the possibility of a black swan event. By definition, these are unpredictable events that the market cannot prepare for, such as major geopolitical escalations, financial system failures, or global crises. So where does this leave you? The goal is not to panic, and it is not to blindly trust the system either. The goal is to understand the environment you are in. Right now, the market is being supported by strong underlying forces, but those forces have limits. The smartest approach is to stay aware, stay diversified, and pay attention to the signals that matter. Because when those forces start to weaken at the same time, that is when the real risk begins. And when that moment comes, it will not feel obvious, it will feel sudden. So instead of reacting to headlines, focus on understanding the system. Because once you understand the system, you are no longer guessing, you are making decisions with clarity. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making financial decisions.